Semaine Zarokian, a weekly rotation with a twist. I spent a whole week dousing myself with Cecile's Zarokian perfumes, and if you want to know how I learned to stop worrying and love the slop, well, stay with me. I am Max, and this is mostly just perfumes. So this effectively is a weekly rotation with a twist. It will be a shorter week than usual, 5 days, because all this happened the week before I went on holiday, so 5 days effectively from Monday to Friday included. And during this week I decided to do an experiment. So Cecile Zarokian is certainly an acclaimed perfumer, one of the most famous at the moment, at least within the mainstream sphere of perfumery. And there are some claims around the fact that she tends to use very similar compositions across different perfumes for different brands. So I was curious to test this. Effectively, I own a few of these perfumes that apparently are quite similar, if not, well, same-ish. And I wanted to put them on test. For some of these perfumes I have decants. For some of these perfumes I had to ask Mr. Ahmed to borrow one specifically. So this is the gist of this video. What I will do as well, it's not just the usual Monday to Friday in this case. It's also a ranked video. At the end of the video I will propose my ranking. And as an additional twist, I will also decide if these perfumes, from my perspective, based on my taste, are maybe due to be decluttered, or I will keep them. But so let's start very strong, I would say. And as a first perfume that I am discussing today, and this was effectively the first perfume that I wore that week on a Monday. As you can see, this is Oud Zarian from Creed. I think it's one of the latest releases from the house. I took a lot of notes during that week just to make sure that I could remember what these perfumes were smelling like. With most of these perfumes, including Oud Zarian, I have plenty of experience. I manage, obviously some of these I own. In case of Oud Zarian specifically, as I mentioned, this was borrowed from Mr. Ahmed's collection. So thank you very much, Ahmed. So what I can say about Oud Zarian, and I just sprayed it on strip just to give myself a refresher. So we all know about, if you're watching this video, most likely you know about the claims from Creed that Oud Zarian includes an 80 years old oud in the composition. From my perspective, after wearing it a few times, and now that I have this bottle, I managed to spray it a few times and understand a little bit more about the scent. The start really is all about, at least from what I can smell, is all about like a cardamom / coffee scent. So this is the main element that I get. And this is almost immediately joined by a very heavy rose, bearing in mind that I am usually quite sensitive to it, and maybe some zesty citrus in the background. So this is from the get-go. As the scent develops, and obviously not now from the strip, but based on my experience, there is a dry incense that comes up around maybe 30 minutes after the first spray. And what else I can say is that there is a strong licorice presence, maybe not from the initial spray, but definitely after 30 minutes, 1 hour, you will get this licorice in. It's not as sweet as in other perfumes that Cecile perfumed, but it's definitely there. So this is all in all what you get at the beginning, first hour, and so on. The scent then develops around 3-4 hours. You start really smelling what the base of Oud Zarian is. Myrrh, patchouli, and sandalwood, specifically the sandalwood, are the heaviest components that are part of the base of this scent, and they are effectively they compose the part that you can smell well after maybe the 12 hours mark. I think this Oud Zarian is, if that's what you're looking for, it's particularly good in its longevity and projection as well. For the first couple of hours, Oud Zarian is really projecting perhaps 1-2 meters from you, so it is the typical thing that you could define beast mode. I could easily smell it after like 16 hours, perhaps even after 24 hours, but this is most likely because some heavy fixatives, some heavy aroma chemicals on the wood side, on the woody side, they've been used, and this is the reason why you could still smell it basically up to the day after, right? So this was my Monday. Moving on to Tuesday, I made sure to continue my Semaine Zarokian streak by experiencing from my collection Royal Tobacco by Amouage, right? So let me spray it on strip to give me a brief refresher of what this scent is about. So Royal Tobacco's namesake is, at least in its current formulation, and I know that there are some differences between some early formulations and the current ones, apparently, and I can confirm that, at least from what I can smell. The namesake is the name of the perfume that is a bit misleading from my perspective, because there is just, tobacco is present, but just as a semblance, and maybe it becomes a bit more apparent towards the very long end of the dry down itself. From the get-go, this is all about anise and licorice roots. That is the main impression that you get. Perhaps a little bit of incense as well from the beginning. And as it starts in the early dry down, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, there is a candied plummy scent that is coming in, and progressively it becomes more and more sweet, to the point of really giving me an impression of maple syrup and this plum, but it really smells almost up to 3, maybe 4 hours in. It really starts to smell like plum wine. I'm not too sure if you had the experience to smell that, but it is really candied, right? So the sweetness is really a main component of this perfume. So there is a darker component in this, so it's not just about the sweetness. Around the 6 hours mark, you can really start smelling a little bit more the incense and a little bit of that tobacco, which is definitely in the composition, but given the sweetness, given all the other sweet ingredients, it is really not coming up to the surface. So certainly it has been used, but I wouldn't pick up this perfume thinking about it as a tobacco-based scent at all. Royal Tobacco is another perfume where the performance is quite strong, in my opinion. You get easily beyond the 12 hours in terms of longevity, and projection-wise, it's not as strong as Oud Zarian, but you still get a decent level of projection at arm's length, maybe up to 4 or 5 hours, and then it progressively recedes. All in all, this is my experience, and we can move to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I decided to go with something slightly lighter, not super soft, because after all, this is still Cecile Zarokian, and I went for Tango. For Tango, I have a decant. This is my small vial here. It's the third one that I have, and I've been going through in my collection. So Tango is perhaps among the perfumes that I've been wearing this week is maybe the most natural smelling. It's the least potent, I would say, the least lasting, the least projecting. So bear that in mind. But in turns, perhaps the scent is a bit more natural, less synthetic smelling. From the get-go, you get quite immediately a cardamom blast, and as you heard from the other days, cardamom is a recurring ingredient, especially in the opening from in Cecile Zarokian's work. You also get some pepper and bergamot. So this is the initial blast, and essentially the core of Tango, in my opinion, is the rose and patchouli combo. And you can already now I can smell that kind of beige, at least in my mind, that beige patchouli that is present in the core of this perfume, along with the rose. 15-30 minutes, the rose will be also surfacing, which will be part of this combination. What you also get around the 15-20 minutes mark, and this is from my nose, obviously not now because I just sprayed it, you get a very dry cumin impression as well. So this is perhaps the most spicy and dry composition among the ones that I tried as well. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's also the least potent. So this, I think, 5, 6, maybe 7 hours tops. This is where it starts really to fade. I would say after an hour, maybe 2 hours, this becomes a skin set. Not necessarily bad. Not all the perfumes need to be monsters in terms of performance. So I would say if this is something that you like, as in a softer kind of approach to perfumery, this is one to go for within Zarokian's production. On Thursday, obviously, if we're talking about Zarokian's most recent works, we can't really avoid talking about Amouage, Outlands, and I will not go through any elements that relate to the essences discussion. That is an element that I am keeping for another video, which will come for sure at some point. But I own this bottle, so it is necessarily part of this week rotation. So what I can say about Outlands, Outlands is, despite being a TikTok darling, effectively, it took a little bit, it took a while before it took off, at least from a social media perspective. It didn't really take off immediately, but now you can see it's all over the place. It's been abundantly covered pretty much everywhere. So what is Outlands about? Outlands start with zesty, almost crunchy cardamom, for sure. That's the main blast that you get initially, and you can almost immediately, maybe give it 5-10 minutes, you get an incense impression that is smoothened by myrrh, right? So these are the very first components that you will get from Outlands. As it develops, then maybe give it an hour or so, you will start smelling the core, which again, similarly to Tango, it's a rose and patchouli combination. I don't think it's as strong as it is in Tango, but it's a little bit more green, given the presence of this kind of zesty cardamom that reaches the mids of the perfume as well, of the scent journey. As it dries down, I think it changes quite substantially. The greenness, the green aspects would fade. 3-4 hours in, it will become more resinous and smoky. And you will also experience, at least from my perspective, based on my experience, you will also get some kind of iodine, perhaps from the ambergris, which is present in the composition. So all in all, there is a little bit of a change from the initial zestiness, the crunchiness of the cardamom you get through the rose and patch combination up to the end, where you really get the woody, the resinous smokiness as well. So it has quite an interesting journey overall. So in terms of performance, Outlands is another substantial beast, I would say. Maybe not as strong as Oud Zarian, but I think even like after 9 hours, I could still get like maybe at arm's length projection for sure, and you could still smell it as a present skin scent the day after. So well beyond 12-16 hours of longevity for sure. So this is what I have to say about it, and let's move on to Friday. On Friday, without having to wait up to the end of this video, I wore Silver Oud by Amouage, which in my opinion is one of the best works by Cecile Zarokian to date, at least. And what I can say about this fragrance is that beyond the obvious oud presence, and what you will get here, you will get the Assam oud, which is Indie oud. I can say it's not, having experienced it now a few times, it doesn't strike me necessarily as a super barnyardy at this point. I get more the smoky aspects of it, and essentially Silver Oud is a journey around smoke and dark woods, right? You get smoky elements that are brought in at different stages of the perfume journey, and essentially you can start from the top notes. You get the cypriol, so you get some smokiness from that. Then you get some smokiness again from the Assam oud, and ultimately there is some amber aroma, which is a molecule, a fixative molecule effectively that has some smoky elements as well. So you get like a triple whack of smoke across the whole scent journey, which is supported and surrounded by this mounting force developing around the oud, the Assam oud. From my perspective, this is one of the ouds that I would start with if you are interested in starting with some experiencing ouds in general, right? It still has some components that are a bit easier to digest. The first times that you will spray this, you will certainly be impacted by the Assam if you're not used to it. But as of now, as I've been experiencing different maybe artisanal ouds that are substantially stronger and more present than in this composition, I can say that this is quite, it is the real thing, but it is quite approachable because of Zarokian's mastery here, right? There are some ingredients, there are some notes, especially after 3-4 hours, that develop, making this sweeter and more approachable. In terms of performance, yeah, you get up to 10-12 hours for sure. One thing to mention is that despite the darker notes that you have in Silver Oud, don't expect a beast mode performance here. It is a heavier composition and it behaves as such, right? You will get maybe 3-4 hours of projection, a scent bubble, nothing extreme, and then it turns into a present skin scent until it fades out around 10-12 hours, depending on your skin, the climate and the temperature around you. This was my Friday pick, and let's move on to my ranking. Okay, so now it's the time to wrap up and reflect on how I would rank these fragrances, how I would potentially keep them or perhaps declutter them. Let's start from Oud Zarian. So this is a perfume that I borrowed from Ahmed, and so I don't own it at the moment. Will I add this one to my collection? Hell no. I will definitely not add Oud Zarian to my collection, and the reasoning behind this is because really, I think this is now following Creed's pattern in releasing perfumes that are trying to capture perhaps trends that are sprouting and developing across the perfume industry, the perfume zeitgeist. And I think this one is really trying to respond to, I guess, the request of having a fragrance from Creed that performs. They certainly achieved that. This is a beast mode kind of scent that lasts and lasts. But why does it last? Because effectively of the fixatives, the synthetic components that are present specifically in the base, and the infamous amber woods that will take you beyond the 16 hours longevity, still with a substantial or at least present projection. I think that is an attribute that is perhaps more something that you should be considering if you like more the designer kind of perfumes. Even considering the price of Oud Zarian, having that heavy synthetic composition in the base, from my perspective, it's disappointing. So I will definitely not add Oud Zarian to my collection. Moving on to the next one that I would rank as number 4, I would say Tango. And it's not because it's a bad scent, but among those that I tried today, it is a scent that relies heavily on at least from what I can smell, I can really smell the rose component, the rose ingredient, and that is something that, as I mentioned in other videos as well, I am not really keen on rose. If it's too present in a perfume. So given that, again, it's very good if you want a lighter composition that has the typical Zarokian signature. This is one to consider. This is one to consider for sure. Moving on to number 3, I would say Royal Tobacco. So Zarian, I won't add to my collection. Tango, I have a decant, that's enough for me for when I want to use it and sniff it and experience it. Royal Tobacco, I own a bottle at the moment, and I will not say that I will declutter it yet, but given the direction of how my scent and taste is developing, it is really, I still appreciate it, but I don't think I will keep it for much longer. It has that candied component that is really becoming a little bit too sweet to my taste. So that is the reason why I am a bit on the fence, and at some point I might decide to put it on the chopping block. Now, moving on to number 2, Outlands, and this, to be honest, it has been surprising. I bought it pretty much at launch, when it was launched, and I've been wearing it a few times since then, but maybe not in the last 2-3 months. And I think this week rotation helped me to appreciate it a little bit more, because in my opinion it has 3-4 different stages, so it is not as it is not as banal as one would think. It has a greenness, it has that initial zestiness, and then it develops across some incense that comes in until it becomes much darker. And even that iodine accent that comes out as it goes into its later dry down, that was quite surprising. So all in all, Outlands is certainly a fragrance that I undervalued, maybe because of all that mounting TikTok talk, but it is really good, and so it deserves to stay in my collection for now, at least, and as number 2. And Silver Oud, I think it was a little bit of a cheat code to make sure that I could at least save one and keep it in my collection. To date, even after getting into artisanal ouds and artisanal scents, I still think that Silver Oud has a place in my collection. As I mentioned before when I was talking about the various days of the week, yes, it has the Assam oud, but it's really about the smokiness coming in at different stages, brought in by different notes and ingredients, so that makes it a little bit different than other compositions that are oud heavy in my collection. Therefore, I will keep it. So we've done the ranking, we've done with the decluttering component of this weekly rotation. Now the ultimate question is, does Zarokian repeat her work in different compositions? In my opinion, after experiencing all these scents one day after another, I can safely say that this is not the case. It is more than repetition. I think it's really her signature. And even, Silver Oud is certainly the most distant from the rest of the bunch, but it still has Zarokian's signature for sure. There is an element of sweetness that is recurring across all her compositions, and even Silver Oud has that vanilla, that amber aroma that are, on the sweeter side. So maybe that is the fil rouge that is spread across all her works, right? So these are my thoughts. I'd be very curious to understand what you think about Zarokian's work in general. What do you think about the similarities across her work? Is it repetition, or is it a signature as I think? So if you like this video, please make sure that you use the buttons below to show me some appreciation. And if you watch more than one video on my channel, perhaps consider subscribing as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.